Yeah, so I will admit.
Come out!
You all right, Steve? I will admit things look a little different. And yeah, it's not by design. But
holy crap.
What's going on? What's going on, Steve?
Your background has changed.
Yeah, just a little bit. We have a side other podcast that we do with a good buddy of ours that actually came in this week, and he will be filming alongside me later today as we record over on the Two Noobs Talking channel. If you got a chance, you can check this out right over there, for us. But for now, this is the Men in Orange and Black, and this is episode 13 of our 2024-25 season. With me, of course, is the illustrious Steve Murray, and I am, of course, Matt Craig. You are with us. Steve, I know this was kind of jarring, seeing me in a little bit of a different format, but how you been, man? What's going on? What's happening?
Just trying to keep my back straight,
Yeah.
Just keep it loose.
Yeah.
That's hard when you sit down for podcasts and things.
But. Yeah, especially like if you're on a, kind of a bistro table or bistro chair, basically. You're kind of just like a little higher
I'm on a bar stool.
Hey, you're on a bar stool. So there you go. Yeah.
There is no back to this chair. So DDP yoga, here we come, right? Good posture, good posture.
Sit up straight.
Sit straight up.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy you guys are with us. And obviously, it's been pretty evident as we'll go through here in the first period of, boy, we're in full rebuild mode, man. We are in total full rebuild. And it's about time. I think we're going to be talking a little bit about that, a little bit in the second period, kind of like I guess you could say like a reaction to kind of like the Flyers Talk podcast. NBC Sports Philadelphia had their own take of what's going on. We wanted to give our own take, basically, of what we think is actually going on with the Flyers. And of course, third period will look ahead on the schedule. But before we do any of the games, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the glance here, Steve? Just FYI.
Good thing I just brought it up.
Right. Good news. We were at Hockey 500 about a couple episodes ago. That's no longer the case there, bud.
No.
28, 34, and 9. And we keep going down on this power play, which we'll address, of course, in the second period. Steve, your initial thoughts here as we look at the Flyers. They're I think second from the bottom in the Eastern Conference right now for the wild card, but
I think that's correct, and you'll see that in a second.
Yeah.
But I was at least pleasantly surprised the penalty kill went up a tick. And not only that, according to hockeyreference.com, when I checked it this morning, this is as of what's today, February or March 23rd.
March 23rd, yeah.
That penalty kill percentage is exactly identical to league average. Hey. So we have a league average penalty kill.
I love it. I love it.
But the power play sucks.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Down another percentage point. I kept thinking, boy, 18%. Something must be definitely wrong on our side. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, what to make of this.
They are 0 for March.
Oh, they're 0 for March. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they do not have a power play goal in the month of March, which is a week from concluding now.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a problem. That's for sure.
I would say.
Yeah.
Probably helps contribute to the fact that we've only won one game in the last, whatever the
last 2 weeks, for sure.
I've lost track.
Yeah.
We beat Tampa. So Tampa, what's wrong with you?
Which is, yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Tampa, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, my gosh, it's not looking good. And this was obviously, we're talking post trade deadline. Lawton's gone. Farabee's gone. Frost is gone. Pretty much most of whatever offense you did have, whatever there was, has now left the building. And now we all have AHL call-ups. And it's pretty evident, that it's like in a couple more episodes, we're going to end on episode 15. That will be the final episode for us in a couple weeks.
Ever? What the hell?
Well, no, we'll be back. We'll be back. I'm just saying for this season, it'll be it. But
I'm thinking, we got to do like a draft special, right?
We'll
And
do a draft
free
special,
agency
free agent
special.
special.
Okay,
Absolutely.
right,
Yeah.
good.
We'll throw a couple bones at you and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We're not going away, but
right.
we're not
You made it sound
definitely not.
Like it.
Well, definitely we're not covering the playoffs. I mean, that's a no brainer in that regard.
Well, yeah, if we're not in it, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the standings real quick.
Yeah, these are not your ordinary
there
standings.
You go. Yeah, we're just toss them out, right? Just get them out of the way. Yeah.
Given where we are, I decided instead to throw this up on the wall. These are where you slot in pre-draft lottery. So the team at the top there, the Sharks, they only have 47 points. This is all current as of last night's games, March 22nd. The Flyers actually are slotted in 5th. So if there was no change as a result of the draft lottery, they would pick 5th currently as it stands now. They are 5 points from sliding down to 10. But as you see, Buffalo, who is the other team in the Eastern Conference down at our level, they're only 5 points behind us.
So then the question is that I have for you, do we want the Sabres to pass us here? It's hard to say.
I'm conflicted on this. If they did, I'm not going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
If they didn't, I'm also not going to be disappointed. I would like to see the Flyers play well to the end of the season. If they end up down, I mean, you could realistically probably get as low as 3 on this. Yeah. The Predators are also at 60 points. Where it's like, there's no way the Blackhawks or the Sharks are catching us.
No.
Unless there's some miracle happens.
Oh yeah.
But 5th right now is where we slot in. You could get as low as 3rd, but if you have a good stretch, you could even climb out of the top 10. The interesting thing I noted looking at the percentages of where you could land in the lottery is the greatest percentage for what might happen to you is actually one pick after where you currently sit. So the highest percentage for the Flyers right now at 5 would be to land at 6. And for the Kraken, it would be to land at 7. For the Penguins, it would be to land at 8, which is kind of funny.
Interesting.
But you have to take into account that would mean somebody's jumping you, which pushing you down.
Yeah, which you could probably make the argument Seattle could, but that's about it, right? I mean, we would have to catch the Penguins, and that's something we really don't want to do at this point, I guess. But at the same time, you want a good effort. And what we saw, contrary to what a lot of people I think are complaining about, the coaching is really bad and everything. The team is still playing hard. They are still giving it effort. And that is something that you can hang your hat on right now. It's like, they're not going away. Yeah, the talent's missing, and that's to be expected. That's what happens when you sell at the trade deadline. Your deficiency goes away. It's, I think, leading up to the trade deadline, a lot of things were like, well, did Joel Farabee like blossom? Did Morgan Frost blossom? Did Scotty Lawton kind of contribute more? And the answer to all those questions was an emphatic no, as far as I'm concerned. Frost certainly did not give much in the way of any offense. Now, whose fault is that? Is that solely on Frost? Is that solely on Tortorella? Is it a combination of two? It could be a mixture of all three. Who knows? But the bottom line is the team just does not have talent, but you love to see the effort. You saw the effort against Dallas, a team that really should have just wiped us out in their building. And they were like at one point in the game, which we'll go over.
Well,
but for them to
I'm
come
not sure
back,
I would say that. I'm not sure I would say they were blowing us out. I mean, they held them to what, like 19 shots for the game?
Right.
The game before Washington, they held them to 16 shots. I mean, the shot suppression aspect of the defense is there, which shows you they are playing hard. It's a lack of offensive talent at the moment on this roster, I think and the piss poor power play are really what's holding this team back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's the point. I think my original point was in regards to Dallas. On paper, Dallas has the capability of blowing you out like 5-0.
Oh, absolutely.
They're that good. My whole point is, look, to your point, you're blocking shots, and you came back on them 2-0. which was great. I mean, that is really encouraging from an overall perspective. But yeah, overall, you're right on the money too, Steve. There's no offense on the team right now. And again, that's to be expected. So let's go ahead and review what the heck happened, because it wasn't very good at all. It starts off with the home game against Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
I was there. I'm not getting blamed for this, though.
At least it was a little competitive. It was 1-1, 2-2, you know, like it was doing pretty good. But then like Sandy took over. Amadio, hopefully I spelled that right. Michael Amadio with the game winner at 3-2. And then
that was a bad goal. Bad
goal there. Dylan Cousins unassisted 4-2, and then the empty netter.
Oh god.
5-2. You were there, bud.
I was there.
What was your initial impression of the game and seeing the Flyers up close and personal?
Well, so it was up close and personal. So I was watching Michkov in warm-ups, and he and Emil Andre apparently have a liking for one another and will, you know, bump each other and tap each other in the head. And then Michkov proceeded to shoot a puck right in Andre's rear end. Which I thought was kind of funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. But okay, whatever, you know, whatever gets you hyped up for the game.
Yeah.
I knew we were in trouble. I'm sitting in my seat. First period has started. There's some people in front of me who have yet to take their seats. So my view of the ice is partially blocked. I happen to see Brady Tkachuk go this way, and all the other Flyers go this way.
Oh.
And I'm like, that is less than ideal.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, one timer, and it's in the net 24 seconds into the game, and it's like we're down 1-0.
Yeah.
They showed some fight, they stabilized, but the problem with that game was every time they would get to tie it, Ottawa would come right back and retake the lead.
Yeah.
And the third goal you were talking about, I guess it was the Amadio goal. That was like a minute after we had just scored the second, and it was a bad goal, you know, through the 5-hole. It's like, you can't have that. And then the Dylan Cousins goal, that was us passing right to him. That was a beautiful assist by whoever passed it to him out of the corner. But I guess you can't give Flyers assists on Buffalo or Ottawa goals.
I guess not. No. Yeah.
I was pissed. There was a play in the third period where there was a nice tic-tac-toe, and Couturier had a shot, a one-timer, and it didn't go. And I thought, I was sitting at the far end, so I was from where they were shooting, so I couldn't see it exactly. But I saw the shot, saw it didn't go in. I'm like, oh man, I thought that was in. Why didn't that go in? I'm like, well, we were there because my son was playing after the Flyers game. And while we're waiting for the teams to take the ice, I was scrolling on Twitter, and I happened to see why Couturier's shot didn't go in. And damn it, if that Ottawa player didn't just kind of throw his stick down, and in the process of swinging his stick, just happened to knock the puck out of the air. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's like, that's nuts.
That's some bad luck right there.
No question. No question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, like what was your feel for like how the crowd was, the whole bit? Like, were they into it? Were they sitting on their hands mostly? Like what was going on there with the crowd?
I mean, they were into it. And the really interesting thing was they announced the starting lineup, and they did the traditional sucks. But when Giroux's name was called, there was a noticeable lack of sucks.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
That's good.
But the crowd was into it. The early goal kind of took the wind out of the sails. They got back into it. It was kind of one of those slogging type of games. There wasn't a whole lot of grade A chances. When they got back into the game with the tying goal, it woke us up, but immediately the goal after. So it was tough for the crowd to really get into it, because every time something good would happen, something bad would happen.
Have a downside. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a shame of it. But
so then after the Ottawa game, you have Tampa. Now Tampa, you know, it's like one of the top teams that, you know, in the Atlantic Division, vying for a playoff spot, vying for first place in that division. It's very tight right now. The Flyers, though, with a shootout victory, 4-3, very surprising. Goals by Bobby Brink, 2 goals by Bobby Brink, I should say.
Oh, that's the one where he got bounced down to play with Paling and so whoever else was on that line, for taking him off the Cates and Forster line.
Bobby Brink is having a very nice year. His point total isn't all that high, but he is having a very solid. He's going to be like an excellent third line. Once you get like a couple of free agents that hopefully will come here, I could definitely see him second, third line, like in that middle line, the second and third lines. He's going to be a solid player. Don't want to let him go. He's very, very good. Paling with a goal, 3-2. And then Cam Atkinson made his appearance, scoring the tying goal, 3 minutes.
Because of course he does.
Of course he does, right?
Right.
It's only his 4th goal of the year. So, I mean, I'm not so sure if he's playing a whole heck of a lot down there.
No. Matter of fact, I believe, I forget where I was driving at the time. I was listening to the game and I thought I heard Tim Saunders say that he had been sent down, but they had to bring him back up immediately because I think Kucherov missed that game for illness.
Oh, okay.
So he needed to play that game.
There you go.
But he hasn't had a great, which is a shame because Cam Atkinson's a good guy. I wish him well, but
no doubt.
Of course he scores against us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But then we have Owen Tippett in the shootout. Went 5 rounds. Tippett, though, with the shootout winner, they get 2 points at home against Tampa. I'll take it. I mean, that's something we were not expecting to have happen. So you get points finally. Broke a 5-game straight losing streak by the Flyers. And you end up scoring multiple goals for the first time. Well, really, since Ottawa. The Ottawa game, they had 2, but yeah, so it was really encouraging. And then to make things even worse, though, Carolina, and boy, oh boy, was this like that. It was not even close in terms.
We knew it would be.
And we both knew it would be, right?
Carolina, there's always teams that have your number that no matter what you do, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
And it just seems right now, Carolina is one of those teams where they are built to really hem us in for whatever reason.
Yeah. They're everywhere. They forecheck well. They back check well. They shoot the puck well. They have a great power play. Despite the fact that they had all that drama between Marty Natchez and Rantanen. Besides that whole trade and the influx of what's going on with their GM and what are they doing at the trade deadline? What do they have to do? They can't sign them long term. Oh my God. They come right in, bulldoze us over 5-0. Wasn't even close.
Nope.
1 for 4 on the power play where the Canes were, of course, 0 for 2. I mean, it wasn't even close. The shots on goal were 30-26, more like 40-16. In that regard, because I mean, the play was so one-sided, that kind of a deal.
I mean, the shot totals don't tell the story. It's probably, you want to see shot attempts.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it was probably very imbalanced there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And a lot of our shots were probably just like distance.
Courtesy shots.
Dumping from the Wells Fargo center counter got sorry for us. So he's like, that was within 5 feet of the net. That counts as a check.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Really, really bad. So that ended the 1-6 homestand. And I think at that point, if you're a Flyers fan, you're kind of like, okay, they're done. No run for the playoffs at that point. So what do? You go on the road. Tampa on the road, 2-0. So contrary to the fact that you beat them in your building, you go down there. Vasilevsky has a 21 save shutout against us, 2-0 on this. Ivan Fedotov, kind of similar to what he did, I think, down in Tampa. I think he was the goaltender in Tampa way back. That's what I thought, was playing Vasilevsky shot for shot. Only difference was Nikita Kucherov. Goal and assist.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Yeah, because he got on a breakaway.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Can't have that happen, right?
No. Now, he made a save on another breakaway by somebody else who was not Kucherov. So it's like, oh, that's all. And I think the second goal was an empty netter, right?
Yeah, it was. On the power play, by the way.
Yeah, he only gave up the 1 goal to Kucherov on a breakaway. He played pretty well. I thought the team actually played pretty well in that game, too. I mean, you can't really complain about the lack of offense, obviously, but at least defensively, they hung in there with Tampa Bay.
Held Tampa to 23 total shots. Yeah, held Tampa 23 total shots in the game. We had 21. So it wasn't all that bad. Good defensive effort, I would say. Just obviously lack of goal scoring was the huge issue. You also go, and I hate to say this, 0 for 5.
Yeah.
On the power play.
Again, that's the killer. That's the killer.
Yeah, you have to score in games like this. Is a prime example, right, Steve? I mean, you got to score a power play goal in order to stay competitive. You didn't come.
If you're going to get 5, I mean, if you get 1 or 2 power plays, okay, you go 0 for there, fine. You go 0 for 5, that is a killer.
Exactly right. And then you go to Washington, and I admit I was a little overreactive when Alex Ovechkin scored. It was his 35th goal of the year, which I believe was career goal 888.
888.
I immediately texted Steve, so here we go. He's going to score all 7 goals. He's going to break the record in front of us. I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? Well, fortunately, that did not happen. Thank God.
Well, I mean, that goal, I'm sorry, was shit.
Oh, it was shit.
He fanned the hell out of that one. And it just happened. Credit. He's obviously in the right spot.
Yep.
A goal scorer like him, he knows where to be. So obviously he gets credit. But if I'm going to get scored on by Ovechkin that close to the record, make it decent. This was just like, bloop. He totally fanned on it.
And Noah Cates kind of did a thing where it was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to leave him open. That'll be fine.
You mentioned that in the text.
Yeah.
I saw the play again. The puck comes in. It's sitting there. I don't blame him for trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, poke check it.
It just unfortunately popped right to soon to be the highest goal scorer of all time. That sucks.
Yeah, I just want the NHL to realize this too. Like when Ovechkin does eventually break this record, do not schedule the Flyers to face the Capitals until like January. Just push that calendar all the way out, because I do not want to see that celebration happen with him on the ice.
Well, it could happen before the end of this season.
It just
realistically.
Might. What is he, 6 away? Something like that, right? 6, 7 away?
I don't remember I don't know if he scored since he played us.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
What a career. What a career to have that many goals.
A career. However, I found it interesting because I did not realize this. And, you figure, Gretzky played forever. And he played in the era when you had these insane goal totals. Ovechkin has to break the record in like the next 6 or 7 games to have done it in fewer games than Gretzky.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Which is, I did not know. I thought he was like way fewer games played than Gretzky, but I was mistaken.
Yeah, interesting.
He is very close in games played. And so, I don't know how we'll consider that if it takes him more games.
Right. Be interesting to see. The very fact, though, you held the Capitals to 16 total shots.
Yes.
And you came back and you almost tied it. I mean, it was 3-2. Give them credit, and it's like if they're, quote unquote, if the coach is losing their locker room, that ain't happening with this group of guys.
If Konechny was not in his own head at the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he caught a bunch of posts. He deferred on a 2-on-0 where I'm like, what are you doing? And
even Tortorella said, hey, he's got to shoot that puck.
Yes.
In order for him to get out of the funk he's in. Absolutely. So the final game, you're in Dallas. You're down 2-0. Fedotov gets the start. He gets pulled after the first period. Very interesting that he got pulled. He gave up 2 goals on 3 shots. Not very good, obviously. So you yank him, put Ersson back in, and all of a sudden the competitive nature of this team comes out. They tie the game, including a goal by Travis Konechny.
That's right.
23rd on the year, which is encouraging to see. And Ryan Poehling with the tying goal. And Ryan Poehling, something about that pairing now with him and Forrester and Brink and all that. It's working. It's like all of a sudden he's having a great few number.
It's a nice move.
Very nice move. Indeed.
And a nice play by Michkov to get him the puck, take the hit, and make the play.
It was just an amazing pass. We'll show it on here on screen. It's just an amazing play.
I disagree with you, though, that the competitive return, I thought they were competitive in the first.
Okay.
And really, I mean, the only bad goal Fedotov gave up was the second one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he was off his angle or what. It just looked weird. The first one, when you see the replay, there's like 7 guys in a line right in front of him.
He's trying to find the puck, and it's just not.
There was no way.
No way you get that in.
But I thought, they held him to 3 shots in the first period. This is the Dallas Stars, right?
Right.
I thought they played a good first period. It just sucks that they were on the end of a 2-0 disadvantage at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they were competitive the whole game, except overtime.
Except for the overtime where they coughed up the puck but again, 1 point out of Dallas coming out of that building. That's something we would have never have predicted. I don't think we predicted that at all. So that was very encouraging in that regard. Now, when we were originally going to promise you that Chicago was going to be a part of it, due to unforeseen circumstances with another podcast, which we won't speak about, well, scheduling conflicts and whatnot, we won't have that, but we will have it for next episode, episode 14.
Well, we're going to talk about it again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll spoil it for you. Yeah. Well, not spoil it, but you know what I mean by that.
No.
But yeah.
We're going to be redundant in the third period.
Yeah, the importance of standing up straight or sitting.
I was slouching. I know. It's my fault. I'm slouching.
Can't do that. Not by you. You can't do that. You're still playing, for God's sakes.
I know. I can't.
I don't. Well, DDP yoga. If you haven't signed up for it, sign up for it. That kind of a deal, right? In any event. But so second period, we kind of I kind of wanted to present this to you, Steve, because maybe we're just riffing on this. I'm getting a little sick and tired of all these, like, oh, well, who's at fault? Who's at fault for this season? This is awful. Is the coach at fault? Is the players at fault? Is the GM at fault? What the hell? And, I sent you a little clip on who's at fault for the power play, which we'll get to, of course. But I was listening to Flyers Talk podcast, and my God, do they need to get rid of Joel Fuller-Rice? I'm telling you, like.
Who is that?
He is supposedly the pre and post game producer of NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Producer?
Yeah. For both pre and post game live.
All right.
So
I don't have a problem with pre and post game live.
Does a great job with it. Yeah.
Ashland, no, well, he's not on it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know who he is. Ashland Sullivan, Scott Hartnell, and Al Morgani all seem to be sane. And
yeah.
At least I have not seen them with weird takes. Scott Hartnell has weird hair.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen them with weird takes.
Yeah, exactly. He has a habit on the podcast of kind of doing something like this. He'll talk for 5 minutes like that. So he's very long and drawn out. And it's like, oh my God, it's like wisdom teeth surgery is so much better than having to listen to Joe Fordyce have a sentence about the Flyers. It's ridiculous. And I understand maybe he's trying to be very, very careful. Maybe he doesn't do this on the side, but it's like, get him off the pod. Just get him off.
Well, since he's employed by the same company that is the team, he might have to be very measured.
That's very true. That's very true. But the interesting discussion came up. What do you do about the power play? Because Travis Konechny's on it, and you have Michkov on it, and you have Tippett on it, and you should be scoring at a much better rate. So what's the problem? Is it Rocky Thompson? Is it John Tortorella? Or is it the players? Do you have a quarterback on a power play? No, you don't. But do you have a quarterback? Who's the quarterback on a power play? How come Jamie Drysdale's not that person? So I guess I wanted to pose this to you, since you are we played roller hockey together for a number of years. You were the quarterback of our power play years ago, I remember. We always trusted you with a puck, all that kind of stuff.
I don't know what you were thinking.
Right? What do you think is the main issue with the Flyers power play as you look at it? You were there at the Ottawa game. They didn't score a power play goal at all. They're 0 for the entire month, for God's sakes. What do you think's the issue? What is the problem with the Flyers power play right now?
Well, you've already touched on one thing. They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe Drysdale can be that at some point. Mm-hmm. Maybe Andre could be that. But for a good portion of the season, Risto was your power play one quarterback, and it's not him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do not have. If you think back to when the Flyers had really good power plays, you think of who was at the top. You had most recently probably Gostisbehere, right?
Yep.
Okay. Think back further than that. Mark Streit was a decent quarterback for a power play.
He's not to the net. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not a true number one defenseman, but he was a very good power play quarterback.
Yep.
Chris Pronger.
Yeah.
Right?
Desjardins.
Before that, Eric Desjardins.
Yeah.
Kimmo Timonen was in there.
Yeah.
Guys who They know when and where to shoot it, how to get it through traffic, when to pass it, how to move guys around. And they just don't have that. Drysdale, like I said, he's got the talent and the physical ability. I think he could do it. He just doesn't have enough experience doing it. And the same thing with Andre. I think Andre has the skill level to handle it. He's just not at a position where he can run it.
Do you think Cam York could do it?
If they'd ever give him a shot, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cam York has a very good shot. He scored some goals kind of on the rush. I haven't seen enough of him to know in that position whether he could do it.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's different than just kind of coming in the zone as the fourth man high and shooting the puck.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot different than that because a lot of times you're just kind of stationary, you're directing traffic, you're trying to move the puck to open space.
Yep.
It's a different role.
Yeah.
And that's why some teams, I mean, you think I forget who it was. There was a team carried a seventh defenseman, and he would never see the ice except for the power play.
Yeah,
because he was really good at the power play. He just really sucked at everything else defensively. But he was really good at the power play, so they that's why they rostered him.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a different role, and they don't have one at the moment, and that does not help.
Yeah. Do you think also that? Well, let's turn to Rocky because he seems to be like the poster boy, the whipping boy for all the problems here.
And we whipped him.
Yeah. I mean, when you have an umbrella power play, and what we mean by that is you've got basically five guys kind of looking as if they're all on the perimeter. You have nobody down low, to tip pucks in, that kind of a deal. So it's almost like you're unfolding an entire umbrella like this. So all of your shots are coming from the perimeter. And there's not much traffic in the way in front of the net. You're not getting screens. You're not deflecting. None of that stuff. It just goes, I think there's maybe an issue there in the fact that maybe, I don't think there's skill. Like, I'm trying to think but there isn't enough bodies to take a pounding to get that deflection in.
Well, when I watched this clip that you showed me from these guys who I don't know, they said, "Oh, they've got talent on the power play," and I'm like, but do they?
I don't think so.
I mean, I know Bobby Brink's having a nice year, kind of just presence wise,
yeah,
but stat wise, no.
But he's a third liner.
He's a third liner. I don't think he ought to be on your top power play.
No,
to be perfectly honest,
no.
And to get back to Rocky Thompson, the power play is certainly stagnant. When you watch good power plays in the league, guys are constantly moving, switching positions, cycling. They're getting guys kind of moving all over the place to get the attention of the box to try to break down the box. And when I watch the Flyers power play, I just don't see that. There's half wall to point to other half wall, back to point, back to that same other half wall. And guys aren't like, it's not like point to half wall, and then the guy on the half wall comes out and the point man moves to this side. And now you've got guys in the box who are having to shift because the power play is shifting. I don't see a lot of that.
No.
And I don't know if that's on Rocky for poor design, if that's on the players for poor execution. Another key to power plays is quick puck movement.
Yeah.
If you can move, and that's when you have talent, they can move the puck, and when they know where each other's going to be, that it's touch passing, it's to the half wall to the bumper, or to behind the net to the half wall to the point and shot, like quickly.
Yes.
Our guys just take their time, like, okay, there. And then the guys,
and it's already too late.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already too late at that point. Yeah.
The faster you can move the puck, one or two passes, now you have a lane when it gets to the second or third guy to shoot.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're taking your time, the box can see, okay, pass is going up there, I'm moving here. I just don't see enough quick puck movement. And to your point, net front, I don't feel like there's any net front presence.
No.
I can't tell whose fault that is. Where I would say maybe Thompson gets criticism is if that's not working, which clearly it's not, you're 0 for March, try something different.
Yeah.
Maybe have a guy behind the net.
Sure.
Because that's hard on a goalie. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Put a guy behind the net, get him the puck. Now the goalie can't tell where things are going, and then move some guys out front, and maybe you can generate something there.
That could
or
be-
maybe put 2 guys in front of the net and keep your 3-man umbrella, but now your 2 guys are like one's right in front of the, like they used to do with Simmons and I think, was it Hartnell?
Was it Hart? Yeah,
it was like you had those 2 guys in a line, right? So you had, when the puck was coming, the goalie had to see through 3 or 4 guys to see it coming.
Yeah.
And do something like that. I don't feel like, I feel like I'm watching the same power play over and over again.
Yeah. It's no variety. You're right. You're right on the money. There is no variety to that. And I think it makes me wonder, like, if you would have Konechny behind the net. That's a very interesting observation, Steve. That
I would put Michkov.
I was going to say, the second one would be
better
Michkov.
Vision, and I would want Konechny more.
Maybe
like, remember the power play when we'd have Hartnell in the bumper, and you would just open it up till you could get it to him for a one-timer.
One-timer.
Same thing with Konechny. Have him in that space and move it around until you can get him a one-time shot from there.
Yeah. But it's very clear too. You're right. I think going all the way back to what we were saying before about having a quarterback, that's massive, like at the top of the point, to be able to direct traffic. And I just wonder, like right now, with the defense corps as young as it is, who wants to have it? That's my question. Who wants it? Like, it's an open position. If I'm a young defenseman, I would want to take that opportunity and just, I'll run it. I'll run it. What the hell? And if it falls on me, then you know that you can take me out. I'm not going to be a quarterback anymore. I don't see anybody yet on this team from the defense corps yet to kind of just take that next step and say, hey, I'm the man. I'm going to get open. I think Drysdale probably has the best talent to do that across the board if you're looking at the entire defense. I don't agree
have
with
the experience there.
Right. That's the thing. But you got to throw him in the fire, Steve. I mean, that's the thing. You got to throw him in and see what you've got with this kid, because, I mean, you traded away Quitter Gauthier for him. And so far, it's like, what do you have with Drysdale? Well, we don't know yet. Well, we got to know. We have to find out. We got to throw him into situations to say, all right, kid, you're on it. You're running the QB.
Well,
the QB.
since Risto's gone out, he's been doing it. He's been running the first power play.
Yeah.
And he's gotta have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the bottom line. He's not there yet. And he's got the talent to do it, but he's not at the point where he can. I mean, if you could have him do it on the second unit, just to get him the experience while you had a competent first unit guy to do it, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But they just don't have anybody, so he's got to be it on the top, and it's just not working. But he's not there yet.
Yeah,
he's got to develop.
I guess I'm just surprised Sanheim and York have not stepped up to be the quarterback.
Sanheim was there earlier. I don't think that's his game. I don't think he's a power play quarterback. I think he's very good killing penalties. I think he's good 5-on-5. And the graphic they showed yesterday in the game, I think it was during the game.
Was it Dallas?
Against Dallas. He and York and Sanheim, by like the analytics, are the second best pair as far as kind of defensively. And I think that bodes well for the future. I don't think you want to tax Sanheim with more minutes playing the power play when I don't think that's his area.
That's his area of expertise. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a definite piece that really needs to be solved if the Flyers are really going to take that next step forward in their rebuild. Until they figure that out, you're going to still have a lot of struggles. And, I don't know if the issue solely is on coaching. Because clearly, I think if this issue was coaching, the effort would not be there. You're seeing effort, Flyers fans. You're seeing them try. Now, granted, like overall, the team is very deficient in a lot of areas offensively, and that includes the power play. It's very important. So much negadelphia goes on the coach. Sometimes rightfully so. Sometimes rightfully so. In this instance, I don't think it's all on Tortorella. Tortorella has essentially a 7-2 offsuit in his hand. And he knows he has 7-2 offsuit. And we all know that he has 7-2 offsuit. And we're asking him, you have a pair of bullets? He didn't have a pair of bullets in his hand. We all know that. We have to allow him to coach more and try and solve it. I mean, until we get better players in here that can step up and be the quarterback on the power play. That's the big deal.
And there's something else that I forgot to mention last week, and I forgot to mention in the first period. As far as the slide this team is going through right now, I really think this team misses Garnet Hathaway.
Yeah.
Ever since he was injured was really kind of where the tail. I mean, they won the Winnipeg game after his injury, but really ever since then, that's kind of when this team has gone south. And I think he brings an energy to the game. I mean, I know you got Nick Deslauriers in there who likes to fight, but Garnet Hathaway is a guy who really goes out of his way to make a hit, cause a turnover, get some energy into the team, and I really think they miss him.
I think so too. Yeah,
that's not a power play issue. That's a separate thing. But as a team overall, it just reminded myself now.
Yeah, glad you
I really think they miss him.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully he'll be back soon.
The grit and the toughness is definitely missing that lineup. And to your point, Hathaway's a big time contributor to that too. So yeah. Well, here we go. Third period, an Orange and Black episode 13. When you get a chance, peeps, do us a favor. Hit like, share, and subscribe down below. We really would appreciate that. That's a big help to our channel. I think we're up to 15 subscribers. We're getting there, Steve. We're getting there.
Nice.
Chipping away. We're trying.
And remember, our new tagline is, and I've got to work with Matt to get this out.
Yeah.
We are the podcast for the sane Flyer fan.
That's right. We're going to tighten that up a little bit. Absolutely. We're going to try and focus that in more, but I love that because we are sane. Knock on wood, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to the Flyers, yeah. Other matters, maybe not so much.
It's join us on the other podcast where we go completely off the rails. Anyway.
This is the warm-up for tonight.
That's
baby.
Right. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that. Yeah, exactly. Third period, Steve, we take a look at the schedule. Hey, look, there's Chicago. Oh, my gosh.
We did this already.
I thought we were going to do it again. Extenuating circumstances prohibit us from actually talking about the game. It is actually going to be kicking off in about an hour from now, Eastern time. Looking at that. Yeah. Steve, Chicago. I know we talked about it briefly, but we're talking about one of the worst teams in the West.
Yes.
Do the Flyers have a chance here to beat them?
They obviously do. Now, since the last time we talked about them 2 weeks ago, they have now, coming into the game with the Flyers, have lost 7 in a row.
Oh boy.
If you recall, 2 weeks ago, we said Connor Bedard is minus 28. Since then, he's now minus 38.
Oof.
So he has lost 10 more in the plus minus since we last talked.
Oh, no.
And the other thing I brought up was, Spencer Knight. Maybe they found their goaltender. He has since returned back to earth.
Oh, boy.
At the time we talked, he was 2-0 with some insane, like 950 plus save percentage. He is now 2-4 with a 909 save percentage and a 284 GAA, which isn't terrible, but
yeah, there you go.
It's not the minuscule GAA he had before.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows who we're going to face this afternoon.
Yeah, but, exactly right.
Yeah, this is, if there's a game for the Flyers to get right in the win column, this is the one staring you in the face.
Yeah, because, I mean, looking at the schedule, though, it's very interesting the next 2 weeks. You've got Toronto following the Chicago game, and that ends kind of like the long, extended road trip as we get in close to the end of the year. But you got Toronto, and, of course, Scotty Lawton on the team. First time they faced the Maple Leafs since the trade, obviously, for Scott Lawton. In Maple Leaf, it's not the Maple Leaf Gardens, it's the Air Canada Center. I wish they still played at the old Maple Leaf Gardens. That had some ring to it, but they decided to sell out to Air Canada and, be overrated.
Everybody sells out.
Yeah, they're terrible.
You bring up Scott Lawton. He has played 8 games as a Leaf. no points, -5, 7 penalty minutes.
That trade isn't exactly working out. I'm just saying. All games they've played so far, 3-2. 3-2 in Toronto back on January 5th, 3-2 January 7th in Wells Fargo Center. So I'm predicting 3-2, but the orange and black come out on top.
Well, the Leafs have been kind of streaky. They've won 3 of the last 4, although they lost, I think, yesterday to Nashville. And before that, they had lost 5 of 6. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that team.
Mitch Marner leading the team with 85 points, Steve, heading into that game.
And then he will turtle once they get to the playoffs.
Pretty much, yeah. You could just bank it right on the watch. Like when you fall back to Eastern Daylight Time, bam, Mitch Marner choking in the playoffs. It's great.
And Austin Matthews only has 27 goals on the year after he had 69 last year.
Yeah,
so
kind of a down year. Wonder what's going on.
I mean,
there.
Injuries. He was playing injured for a long time. So
we tease because we care. No, we really don't.
No,
because we tease.
We tease because it's the Leafs and we owned you back in 03 and 04.
Oh, hell yeah. So. And you are definitely the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. So I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, it fits with the color scheme. I mean, that's what they are. So there you go. But then after Toronto, you have the Montreal Canadiens. Quick little 3-game homestand. Montreal kicks it off Thursday on the 27th. First time you're facing them since October. It's been a long time.
Long? Wow.
Montreal beat us 4-3 back then. But we faced them.
I remember that now.
Yeah, we faced them twice within the next couple of weeks. So this is the first of the two. Steve, your thoughts on the Canadiens? They are within, if not, I think the second wild card, if I'm looking at this right. Yes, they are. As of today, at the time of this recording, they are second. They are the second wild card, but only a 1-point lead ahead of the Rangers.
Well, they are 8-1-4 since the Four Nations break.
Red hot. So they're playing.
They've
very
put together
well.
A nice streak.
Yeah.
Yes. Nick Suzuki's leading them in points. He's got 21 goals, 72 points. Cole Caulfield's got 33 goals and 61. So you know who you got to watch. And then they have rookie defenseman Lane Hudson, who is their Calder Cup candidate. He's got 53 points. 48 of them are assists, but he's also -11. So it kind of makes me wonder if he's like Shane Gostisbehere 2.0. Like
could be.
He's going to be a dynamic kind of offensive defenseman, but is going to be exposed on the defensive end.
That's the fraud that he is. No kidding.
He's only got 5 goals out of that 53 points. So I'm wondering how many of those assists are like secondary assists.
Yeah, or I think he's on the power play, if I remember right. I think I remember hearing that Lane is on the Lane Hudson.
Oh, I'm sure
doing
he is,
the power play. Now that's where most of his assists are coming from, which is like, okay, I could see that, but be interesting. I think he'll probably win the Calder, much to my chagrin. I don't see Matvey doing it unless Matvey gets really hot, probably in the next couple of weeks.
I don't know. I know the Canadian press likes to
hype that up,
tout him up, but I think you got to remember Celebrini, and then the goalie in Calgary. I would put him. I think it's Wolf.
Yes,
I would put him ahead of Hudson at this point.
Yeah,
just because I think what he's done is more impressive.
Yeah, especially in Calgary. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I said, Hudson's got a lot of points, but they're mostly assists, and I would love to know how many of them are secondary. And the -11 as a defenseman is. I mean, Suzuki is +11. Cole Caulfield is +5.
I mean, that alone should get you at least, -5 if you're a defenseman, if you're paired with them, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I know the Canadian media would love for him.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. They'll
Screw yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and then after the Montreal game, you've got the Buffalo Sabres. They stink. They're worse than us. I don't want to hear it.
They've lost 9 of their last 12.
Yeah. We beat them 5-2 way back in November. Mid-November is the last time we played them. First time we played them since. Of course, Buffalo. Win. We should kill them.
We should. But it's weird to me when I was looking at their stats, right? Tage Thompson is their best player, obviously.
Yep.
60 points, 34 goals, which is impressive. And he's only -1.
That's very impressive. Yeah.
Rasmus Dahlin is their top D guy. He's even.
Wow.
And just looking, they have, so they've got JJ Peterka's got 21 goals. Mm-hmm. Alex Tuck has 26. Jason Zucker's got 19. Ryan McLeod's got 16. They've actually got some good goal scoring.
There you go.
On the squad.
Yeah.
Despite being only 16th in the league in scoring.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Now they're 29th in the league in goals against.
Oh, they're awful. Yeah.
So that is obviously a bad. And Luukkonen, their goalie, leads the league in goals against as a goaltender, with 154.
Oh.
So maybe that's the problem.
So what do you think? Like 8-7, 8-5?
8-7.
Well, I mean, why not?
Given our recent penchant for shot suppression, this should be like 1-0. However,
yeah,
just given that the Flyers like to buck all trends, it's going to be 8-7.
It's going to be 8-7. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, or 8-5 or whatnot. So
right.
And then you have the Nashville Predators to round out the month of March.
And this is the more bizarre.
This, everybody thought, I'll never forget it, July 1st. They won free agency. They're going to the Stanley Cup final. They have Stamkos. They have all these guys. They signed all these people, and they are one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. It's absolutely astounding to me. And we beat them in their building in overtime. It was after Thanksgiving, November 27th.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Was when we faced them, beat them in overtime in their building. It was fantastic. You want to talk about a most overhyped roster that I've ever seen, probably in the history of I was going to say history of the world, but that's not exactly right. Maybe the history of the National Hockey League in at least the last 5-10 years. It is these Nashville Predators, Steve. This is unbelievable. Despite the fact that they have a 20% power play. That's 21st in the league.
They are dead last in goals for. Dead last.
That is stunning to me. With people like Philip Forsberg, who should be playing a whole heck of a lot better. I
don't know if you can pin it. I mean, Forsberg's got 27 goals and 64 points. I don't think you could pin the scoring on him.
All right, so Marchessault with 19 goals.
Yeah, Stamkos was 23. There's your problem.
Yeah.
Depth.
Yeah.
Depth. After Forsberg 27, Marchessault 19, Stamkos 23, Ryan O'Reilly 16.
Yep.
Thomas Novak at 13. After that,
nothing.
Roman Josi with 9, Brady Shea with 9. Those are defensemen. You have all single-digit goal scoring from the rest of your forwards.
Yeah.
There's your problem.
Yeah. They rolled the dice basically with like 5 players and said, here, try and get us to the Stanley Cup. And it didn't work out.
Right.
Obviously.
Right. And this is even scarier. Forsberg -14. Marchessault -22. Stamkos -24.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly -20. Roman Josi -26. And Josi's now on IR. So he's probably done.
Yeah.
For the season.
Yeah.
That team, I don't know.
Not looking good. Happened. Not looking good.
But they just spanked Toronto though. So.
Well, that's good for them.
That's fun.
But yeah.
It's good for the league.
I mean, it's good for the league. Exactly. I'd be interested to see like what goes on like at that particular game and where we find ourselves after the Buffalo game. How are we going to handle them? It's going to be interesting. Then you got a very nice 4-day break before you play the Montreal Canadiens on the road, actually up at the Bell. Was it the Bell Forum? I think it is. I forget what it's called. Bell Center.
Bell Center.
That's it.
Bell Center.
I keep thinking Montreal Forum, Bell Center.
Yeah,
I'm way old school. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. You're lucky there's still Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We, of course, talked over the Canadiens, earlier, but this time we're playing up there. And I think that will be a loss up there because they're always difficult to play up there. Very difficult to play. Got a great home crowd. They love their Canadians up there and whatnot. But after that Montreal game, Steve, we only have 5 games left in our season. No, I didn't say playoffs. I don't know that we're not going there. So we only have this. And then next time we come at you in 2 weeks, We'll do one more preview, and then that's it. And then we'll talk.
Well, look, given this schedule, if everybody else ahead of us falls off a cliff and we win out, there's a chance you could make the playoffs.
Well, since we are the sane Flyers fans here, realistically, looking at this schedule, what kind of points are we looking at here? So I think they win against Chicago. I think that should be 2.
I think Buffalo should be 2.
And I think Nashville should be 2.
At home, yeah, I would say 2. So you've got 6. Maybe you get a point or 2 out of those 2 Montreal games. Maybe you force both of them to overtime. Maybe you win the one at home.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I don't think
you're beating on the road if they're cooling off by that point.
I don't think you're beating Toronto, though. Not in their building.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So maybe 8 out of 12 is realistically possible.
What? It's not too bad.
On the other hand, Chicago, Buffalo, and Nashville are all below us in the draft slotting. So maybe losing to them wouldn't be the worst.
Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Not saying that they would tank, but
no.
You don't tank in the NHL. It's ridiculous.
No, but we're fielding at least one line of AHL players at this point.
Yeah.
In the forward roles. So
yeah,
it's losing is not to be unexpected, even to teams. And look, Nashville, like I said, they just beat Toronto.
Yeah.
We're expecting to lose to Toronto.
Right,
so
exactly.
You could realistically lose to Nashville too. I don't know.
And we could beat Toronto in their building. Who the heck knows? We'll just
the way things have gone this season, it would not shock me in the least, to be perfectly honest.
Exactly.
I mean, I could see it happening, just to be fair.
Yeah, it could very, very well be definitely happening. That's for sure. So with that being said, that's all we have for episode 13 of the Men in Orange and Black. Again, we're very thankful that you are with us and happy that you listened to us this long. Again, do us a favor, hit like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. I know it keeps Steve off my back from having me to whip. He's whipping me all over the place. That kind of a deal. It's an abusive relationship. What do I have to say?
Well, if you don't like, share, and subscribe, we are going to assign Connor Bedard's plus minus to you personally.
Yes, exactly.
That is going to happen.
God, that is awful. Yeah, it's like no one's talking about that. Oh God, what's wrong with him? That kind of deal. So they're in the middle of rebuild too. Yeah,
Chicago is doing the utter complete tank.
Oh yeah.
And you have to wonder, I get it. You want these like top 3 picks to get your roster, but what does it really do to the confidence and the psyche?
Yeah.
I mean, he had looked miserable.
Yeah.
In some post-game interviews.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could stand that.
No.
Personally.
After a while, all that weight on your shoulders and you have no other talent around you. It kind of sucks. Yeah, it kind of sucks. And you're on the ice for a lot of bad goals, and it's pretty bad. So I don't envy the kid, but at the same time, it's like, yeesh, boy, I wouldn't be all too happy if I were in his shoes. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll see you again in episode 14 for the Men in Orange and Black. For Steve, I'm Matt. Let's go Flyers.